All right. I'm glad we started out on that note.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all good. Welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. Oh, you know what? I can play music here. Hold on. I almost forgot. Here we go. Welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. Wherever you may be checking us out, thank you for joining us and listening to Jason suck down a vape as he coughs. If you joined us a second late, you missed Jason's coughing. Is that a vape?
Yeah.
Okay. So vape and then cough. Understood.
I'm not coughing now.
Not now.
And
Maybe later.
I didn't realize that we were live yet.
That's fine. It's fine. It won't make it into the actual audio recording.
See, so we're fine.
We're totally fine. If you're watching it live, you saw it. That is a cold, refreshing Coke Zero.
Yes.
Cold, refreshing Coke Zero.
Love it.
Let's see. What do we got coming up on? Oh, hold on. Is it? Could it be? There he is. It's the late Kareem J. Daniels. We knew he was going to be late, so that's fine.
We knew it.
And he's here.
What's happening?
We really haven't done anything yet. We literally just started the show. So welcome.
Just started.
Right now.
Thank you.
Right now. This is for the edit. All right. Everybody's coughed now. We're good to go. Do you need to vape too, Kareem?
No, I'm good.
Jason coughed and then vaped, and then apparently that fixed it. I'm not sure how his lungs work.
Something like that.
It's Jason, so they could be working backwards.
It's true. I mean, he is under the supervision of medical professionals, so I don't know what they're doing to him.
Well, it's for me to know and you not to know because of HIPAA.
HIPAA? Well, you could tell us. HIPAA doesn't prevent you from telling us.
No, but my doctor can't, and I don't want to let them. Oh, I love you too, honey. Bye.
I love you too, honey. Bye.
It's bedtime for the little ones.
It is.
We just got ours off to bed too, so I completely understand that. So how you guys doing? Let's start out with that. Kareem, you were running late tonight. How's everything going with you?
Everything is good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, just checking. For some reason, they don't come. I'm not coming. I can hear you guys, but I don't hear myself clear. So,
Well, you sound fine.
You sound beautiful.
yes, you two sound amazing.
Thanks. It's the professional microphones.
I'm good. Didn't do a whole lot this weekend. It was a nice, quiet weekend. Last week was busy. We're dealing with a little craziness with my mom, Sacramento mom, or now in Panama, her and her dementia. This last couple of days has been a little bit trying with hers. Today was especially. But we'll get through it. I didn't look at get a look at the notes. Are we going to talk about the trade?
We are going to talk about the newest member of the Dallas Mavericks. Yes.
Okay, so
I assume that's the trade you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'll wait till we discuss that. How are you guys doing?
Jason, how about you? How are you?
I'm doing good. My doctor just let me know that like when I finish my current course of Accutane for my like all the breakouts acne that I was having, I'm done with that, which I'm looking forward to because I feel that it has made me angry or quicker to light my fuse to get lit. And so I'm looking forward to that being done soon.
but your skin looks amazing because you were having some real problems.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, I would not have taken it and continued it for as long as I did. Like I would wake up like I couldn't sleep at night because my back was so broken out and I'd bleed on my sheets.
Did you think about cutting out the steroids?
I can't. I
Oh
can't.
well.
And they always tell me that that's not one of the side effects. And I'm like, I don't know. You guys upped my dosage, and I am now breaking out worse than I've ever broken out in my life. I've always had a little bit of an acne problem. Like there's always been a problem, like especially as I've gotten older. But I've also started taking more steroids as I got older for my asthma. So I don't know.
That is one of the side back acne is a side effect of the Mark McGuire type of
Yeah,
steroid.
and that's the thing. That's what they always say. Like, well, those are anabolic. You're taking corticosteroids, so it's a different type of steroid. And I'm like, you can see these nuts.
You're like, look, I'm from the Bay Area. Like, McGuire, Canseco, I'm gonna break out.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's cool. That's some awesome news happening in my life, and we are going to be going on a camping trip, or like a trip with a couple other families, to a big cabin up in Tahoe. Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Ah,
And looking forward to that. I have meals that I have to prepare. Like each family has to prepare a meal and a breakfast. Um, so yeah, that's just getting prepared for that. How are you
yeah.
doing, Nate? How's it going?
Well, we just finished a fundraiser for Sam's school.
Damn it!
wi-
I meant to buy popcorn.
Well, the good news, Kareem, is that even without you buying any popcorn, Sam was one of the two students that reached their goal of $500 worth of popcorn sold. Only two in the whole school.
Oh wow!
So she ended up finishing second. The fun part is the other student that ended up finishing first ahead of Sam. His mom is the working parent on Thursday with me. So the Thursday working parents were number 1 and 2 in the fundraising. So that was really good. It was kind of crazy because it was only a 4-day thing.
Yeah,
So it was and it's like, well, it doesn't open up till this time. So I put out like a teaser on social media, and I had a couple of different people go, it won't let me buy popcorn. And I said, yes, it doesn't open until 5 o'clock tomorrow.
I
Because
might
people want to help out, but they don't want to read because reading is hard.
I might have been one of those people.
Uh, you didn't comment or reach out, but yeah, I did have one person who would have, other than yourself, but when he found out about it was before everything went live. So I don't care for that nonsense. It's like as soon as we have the option to open up a pop-up store and I can share a link, the people should be able to buy. I
Yeah,
mean, I get having a finite end date, but I didn't. That was the one thing I didn't really care for. But I mean, it was relatively easy because they sent out a bunch of assets in a PowerPoint. So this morning when we did drop off, I had a couple of the moms go, how did you sell so much popcorn?" And I said, well, I took the assets that they sent me, I customized them because they said we could. And I posted one on social media the day before we could start selling. And then a reminder every day on social media that it was time to keep supporting. And, I had it was family, it was friends, it was people from all over the country who chipped in and bought some popcorn, or they had an option where you could do a popcorn donation where the popcorn went to essential workers. So if you're like, I want to support, but I don't necessarily want to get gourmet popcorn for whatever reason, then you could just spend the money and do that. But the fundraiser overall was a success. The school raised more than the goal amount. I'm gonna say thanks to uh, my kid and the other kid from the Thursday working parent. Everybody else is a bunch of slackers. Uh, um, it was where I got uber competitive, and so it was one of those things where at a certain point Sam shot into the lead, and she was right there until the end, and then it closed, and I go, we second. And Leslie's like, why all the competitiveness? And I go, because I want to win. What do you mean? Why all the competitiveness?
Yeah, I pulled it up to buy it, and I think something happened at work that took my attention away from it.
Yeah,
And
I
was
don't
like,
know how I mean, I saw you posted about it once, and I don't remember seeing it again. And like,
I posted every day,
I fuck the algorithm, fuck
and
Facebook.
and my Facebook posts go to Instagram too. So if you follow me on Instagram, you
Yeah,
saw them there.
fuck all of them, and they're like, stop showing me the fucking stupid shit and show me my friends' shit, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's the challenge. And Twitter, not that Twitter's good, but Twitter has changed, and they've got following and for you. And people are like, well, when did this start? Why is this going on? What's happening with this? And I'm like, well, it TikTok's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
So it's not new. It's just new to Twitter, because TikTok has had for you and following up for as long as TikTok's been around. The difference on Twitter is following is on the right side and for you is on the left, and on TikTok it's the other way around.
Oh, Elon getting crafty with his solutions.
Yeah, all of it, all of his solutions. The weird thing is on the following side, I get a bunch of stuff that isn't from people I'm following. It might be retweets or things that people I follow like, and I'm like, I don't necessarily need that. Maybe that could be in my for you column, and I don't hate it. Whatever, it's fine. I see a lot of the people I'm following in the for you section, which is weird to me because it's like I'm already following them. Why are they in the for you section? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. At all. But that's just the way social media goes. Can't do anything about it.
I never noticed on Twitter the for you or following. I'm looking at that right now and it's blowing my fucking mind. But it's still, I don't like, I see the same shit always up at the top, and I don't see any of like my friends' stuff at the top, you know, like
yeah,
it's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Fuck these people. Fuck all of them.
Yeah, I've started a new social media platform called Postable that I'm on, but they don't have an app, which is kind of a pain in the ass because I do most of my stuff on the phone, and I don't want to be in browsers on my phone dealing with that because it gets small. Everything gets small.
That's what she said.
Speaking of getting small, have either of you watched the documentary Killing County on Hulu yet? It's the one we talked about last week that Colin Kaepernick has produced.
I started the first episode and I didn't get a chance to get through it because something came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't either. I haven't had a chance to turn it on. I've been dealing with other stuff. But Kaepernick tweets this out. Based upon what we uncovered in Kern County, we created the Autopsy Initiative, which provides free second autopsies to families who lost loved ones in police killings. We have completed over 40 autopsies since the program launched last year. #KillingCounty. So if your family member has been killed by the police and the autopsy comes out and says one thing and you're like, well, that's not correct, this is a group that is paying for second autopsies, sort of like a second opinion on how you died. And that's what Colin Kaepernick is up to, that and growing his afro out to amazing proportions based upon this photo I'm seeing.
Yes.
Like 70s proportion afros.
I had one of those when I was a kid.
Me too.
You should go back to it, Kareem. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's like, what's Colin Kaepernick doing? What he retired and blah blah blah, and he kneeled and he blah, blah, blah. What's he doing? He's trying to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
He's making money. He's making money for himself here.
I started the first one, and then did you see the tweet about the 75-year-old man with dementia that they shot?
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy what goes on. and I don't know, what to think of it all. It it's a race problem, but it's also a cop problem.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can I get into a rant for a second, talking about fucking politics for a moment?
Sure.
Man,
Sure.
not that it matters, but because she doesn't listen to this, but Katie Maple, fuck her, and her fucking switching shit up and like not fucking like the way that she ran and what she had ran on and the support that she'd garnered was that she believed and saw that there needed to be a change in the police force. Yet when they had to vote this last week on whether or not they wanted to get one of those new big, those big rolling tanks, that's like I want to say like a bobcat, but like bulldozer almost, right? That's all bulletproof and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That $478,000, something like that. It's like some crazy amount of money, and two people, opposed it, and then 5 people approved of it. So it passed, and she was one of the ones that approved of it. And it's just one of those things where it's like, just like an immediate like fuck you to the people that voted for her and the people that she like had. I mean, I don't know. Actually, and then she comes out and says, "Oh, well, I understand, but this is for defense, and that's why I voted for it. And it's like, motherfucker, were you here when they used one of these defense vehicles in front of my house when they were serving a warrant? It's 6 a.m. in the fucking morning with 10 fucking cops on SWAT gear on one side and 10 on the other side, and like as they cordon off the whole block, like." That was defense, wasn't it? Was that defense? Was that or were they getting ready to fucking kill somebody if like they popped, like one person if they popped off? Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Anyhow, just some bullshit. And like, it would have been one thing if she came out and said this was a political move or like this is to garner favor because this is brand new or something like that. It's when she comes out and thinks that I should have done more talking with the constituents. Bitch, you already did the fucking talking. You did the talking.
Can you back away from your microphone just a hair?
Sorry. She did, like, she talked with she knows what the constituents expected of her, and she fucking just did not give a fuck. So anyhow, she does not have my vote next time. Unless it's a fucking Republican voting again. Like, it's just
again.
Sorry.
Away from the microphone a little bit. You don't move toward the microphone to yell.
I'm getting into fucking. I'm going to tear my shirt off in a second.
I understand that, and you can do that, but roll back about 12 inches if you're going to do that. That's all I asked for.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Because the problem is the way everything works with the internet, man, is if you get too loud, we just can't understand you, which is the unfortunate thing because I want to understand every word that comes out of your pretty little mouth. Speaking of pretty little mouths, Kyrie Irving opened his and said, I want out. I want out of Brooklyn. And they sent him out of Brooklyn. What's really interesting about this trade, Kareem, is the Lakers really wanted Kyrie Irving. And they made, from what I saw, a pretty good offer going back the other way. But the Nets owner apparently said he wants to go to the Lakers. Fuck him. He's not going to the Lakers, was essentially what the Nets owner said. We'll trade him, but he ain't going to the Lakers. I mean, his contract is up at the end of the year. He can sign with the Lakers if he wants. But the Mavericks are sending Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, an unprotected 2029 first-round pick, and a second-round pick from 2027 and 2029 in exchange for Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. Here's my prediction, Kareem. Long-term, Markieff Morris is more of a productive player for the Dallas Mavericks than Kyrie Irving.
If Kyrie makes it through the end of the season without causing a stink, I will be shocked.
He always makes a stink. That's what he does.
Yeah. And for all the people on Twitter and Facebook and fucking Jay Williams who defend him, I want to run down the. I'm gonna run down the history of Kyrie Irving
As Jason steps away, it's fine.
as Jason steps away. Yeah, he played like 6 games at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm a Duke fan, so I should be a Kyrie Irving fan,
But you're not.
but I'm not. He played 6 games at Duke. He played like 4 games, got hurt, came back at the end of the season, and played in ACC tournament. He got drafted to Cleveland. He looked great in Cleveland, but he wasn't producing anything. LeBron comes back to Cleveland. They win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to Golden State one year. They win a championship another game. And this fucker is playing with the generational talent. One of the top 2 players ever in the league. And he says, I don't want to play with him because I feel like he sons me.
By the way, to back up your point, LeBron James is just about to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the career scoring list.
And he's number 4 in assists.
Mm-hmm.
So he leaves that guy and goes to the Boston Celtics,
Yep.
who have 2 of the top upcoming players in the league. And he's going to teach them how to win. They won more games without him.
Mm-hmm.
And he lied to little kids, said, I'll be here if you guys will have me. And then he asked for a trade again. Now, he leaves LeBron on a team that have won a championship, and he goes and joins 2 of probably the top 5 players in the NBA at the time, in James Harden and Kevin Durant. Matter of fact, I think they had won MVPs between the 2 of them back to back in that time span. He goes there and he fucks that up.
I have a question, though. Here's what I want to know. What is up with Kevin Durant? Because it seems like no one wants to be with Kevin Durant.
No, James Harden wanted to be with Kevin Durant. He did not want to be with Kyrie Irving.
They traded the wrong guy, is what you're saying.
They traded the wrong guy, is what I'm saying.
The wrong man.
Wrong man.
Here's the other thing that doesn't make sense about this. The Mavericks already have a guy who is potentially the best player in the league right now. He handles the ball all the time. He should be on the Kings, but Vlade Divac is an idiot, and Marcus Bagwell is a Piston. It's not Marcus Bagwell. It's Marvin Bagwell.
Marvin Bagwell.
Bagley.
I told him. I said
Marvin Bagley.
I said it at the time. Do not draft that fucker, and nobody listened to me.
I would have listened to you. I was dumbfounded at that move. Anyway, the Mavericks have the best offense in the NBA when Luka Doncic is on the floor. When he's not on the floor, because he can't play every minute, they have the worst offense in the league. The problem is he's going to have to play at the same time as Kyrie Irving, and they both do essentially the same thing.
Yep.
And there's only one ball.
Yep.
So I don't know what magic Jason Kidd is going to pull out of his ass for this. I don't know what Mark Cuban was thinking with this, other than, well, shit, we can't let him go to another team in the Western Conference. He's too big of a talent to let go somewhere else.
Okay. So one of the things they say is that Luka has a game similar to LeBron. When Kyrie was in Cleveland, his usage rate when LeBron was out, he was terrible. I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it Charles Barkley, like terrible.
Yeah, you were already there. You were going there.
He was terrible. The point differential with him on the court without LeBron, just awful. And he's played probably 40% of the games in Brooklyn, and again, the number of games that they've actually won, it that was the biggest. As some people said today, every when Kyrie, Katie, and Harden got together, every sportscaster, announcer, whatever you want to call it, were picking them to win a championship every season.
No.
And they won shit.
And I said that as much because the only time Kevin Durant won anything was when he was with the Warriors. James Harden didn't win anything, and Kyrie Irving only won when he was with LeBron. Though it's really weird. It's really weird. It doesn't make sense. It's going to be a shit show. The Mavericks are going to regret this. He's probably going to sign with the Lakers in the offseason when they are finally clear of the god-awful Russell Westbrook contract. And that was the trade that the Lakers had proposed to the Nets was Kyrie for Russell Westbrook. By the way, Russell Westbrook playing with Durant, he's done it before, would be fantastic. That would be a fantastic pairing again. You'd have him for the rest of the year and 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks. That would have been a spectacular trade for the Nets. Instead, they accepted this other one thinking, oh, we'll package these other picks from later down the line to somebody else. And they got 24 hours to do it. They couldn't do it. Yeah. Because everybody's like, fuck you and your picks from 2029. It's 2023. I'm not waiting 6 years for a number 1 pick. That's stupid. I'm not giving you assets now for something in 6 years. That's dumb. No one is going to do that. So at the end of the year, my guess is Kyrie Irving ends up signing with the Lakers. Russell Westbrook goes somewhere else, and the world will keep on spinning.
Exactly.
That's the end of our sports talk, Jason. I'm not even going to go into the NHL and their problem with Russian players who are Russian Orthodox and have been allowed to not participate in the Pride events that the NHL was putting on, and why that's an issue. People should look into that. It's not that hard to find information on it. It's a real fucking problem. Because the Russian Orthodox Church basically believes that gay people shouldn't exist. They believe that one of the reasons it's cool to invade Ukraine is because they have pride parades there. And they are allowing players who are Russian players in the NHL to just not participate in any of the pride events. And for a lot of the pride events, it's basically just, hey, when you go out for skate around before the game, you're wearing a jersey where your number has rainbow in it. That's it. That's literally it. And there have been players who've been like, I'm not doing that. And the NHL commissioner is like, well, we appreciate the diversity and people's religious blah, 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 blah. Fuck Gary Bettman and fuck all of that nonsense. Fuck it. Fuck you, Gary Bettman, you piece of shit. You worst commissioner in the history of organized sports. Fuck you. Fuck you. You had NHL All-Star Weekend. We had the fucking Happy Gilmore bullshit. What the fuck was that nonsense? The only reason that wasn't highlighted as more ridiculous than it is because they played flag football at the Pro Bowl, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because they decided a few years ago, oh, we're not going to go to Hawaii. We're going to do it in fucking Florida and also fuck Florida. Fuck Florida and all of their nonsense. All right. Anywho, there's been a lot of anger this week about the China balloon. The China balloon. What will conservatives be outraged about this week? A few weeks ago, it was Joe Biden's coming to take your gas stove.
Then it was the green M&M.
The green M&M. Yes, we can't be promoting the M&Ms. Anywho, the China balloon. There was a Chinese spy balloon. They claimed it was a weather balloon. It was not a weather balloon. It was spotted, I believe the first time anybody spotted it was, at least in the public, was over Montana. It was allowed to go across the country. It was spotted over Missouri. It was eventually shot down off the coast of South Carolina. It wouldn't have been cool if it fallen on Fort Sumter. Just the just the
Yes.
simplest of all that. Anywho, Rick Wilson. By the way, former Republican strategist Rick Wilson tweets, so the decision to shoot down the thing was done on Wednesday. We monitored it, jammed its sensors, and gained intel on its capabilities. Waited until it was out of range where it could crash and cause civilian harm, shot it down, and this is what's causing a million MAGAs to lose it. The answer is yes, Rick, that is what's causing a million MAGAs to lose it. For instance, this twat, Jesse Waters on Fox News. Trump wanted to nuke a hurricane. It's not really.
I was waiting. I thought we were getting a. I thought we were gonna get like a.
Jason, get away from that microphone.
Sorry.
Right there. That's a good spot. I'm sorry. I love your points, but you get right in that microphone and I cannot understand you. Anywho, yes, Trump wanted to nuke a hurricane. In case you forgot, Trump wanted to nuke a hurricane.
There were three
balloons
that came across when he was president.
There were, and the Department of Defense released that information. There were a bunch of people who served in the Trump administration who came out and said, well, that's not true. Here's the problem. They have no credibility.
No.
They have no credibility. But the weird thing that happened all last week was Republicans pointing their guns at the sky at a balloon that was 66,000 feet in the air. You don't have to be a munitions expert to understand. Excuse me. God damn it. Apparently, I've caught what Jason had.
Apparently.
Apologize. That's out of range for a gun. Literally any gun. Carrie Lake tweeted a picture of her holding a shotgun in a field saying, I'm told there's a balloon that needs to be taken care of. A shotgun.
I kind of hope that she tripped on it and shot herself in the ass.
Well, she had taken a knee at the point in the photo anyway. All of her photos, she's looking up at something. What? I do not know. Paul Gosar, who's another nut from Arizona, Representative Paul Gosar, DDS. This dude's insane. Would you go to him as your dentist? If you found out your dentist was a congressman, but also insane, would you continue going?
No.
That's a negative.
that is a big hard no. Yeah. Pentagon confirmed at least 3 Chinese balloons flew over the U.S. during the Trump presidency, and he hid them from the public. He never shot them down. So this idea that, if Trump were president, he would have shot them down. He came out and said that he would have, you could have threatened him and you could have negotiated something. Dude, you were president for 4 years. You negotiated jack shit with anybody other than releasing 5,000 Taliban prisoners for no reason.
He
capitulated. Or was it Al-Qaeda? It was Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda. He capitulated to everybody.
He was everybody's little bitch. And the front on it was, I'm big and I'm strong. And it was just this bluster of bullshit. I don't want to go into it because I don't want to get my hopes up. There's always, as we go by every week, it's like, there's been this thing about Trump and this district attorney is investigating this, and there's warrants imminent, and I can't anymore. I can't get excited. Cannot get excited. But I will say this: um, I want the people who are Christians out there who are listening to our show. I don't know. We have a lot of Christian listeners. Um, we go now to TikTok and the liberal trucker. By the way, I've been told that TikTok is the Chinese balloon on your phone. I don't know that that's true. Um, if it is, there's a Chinese balloon on my phone. Anywho, the liberal trucker has this to say about persecution in Christians.
Now I know y'all have a hard time understanding what persecution actually is, so I'm gonna help you out. Calling people out on their bullshit isn't persecuting them. Making gay isn't persecuting them. Telling them that they're not allowed to write laws based on their religion that everyone, that's not persecution. Telling you that you're not gonna get your way just because you've always been used to getting your way, it's not persecution either. And my favorite one, telling you that you're not allowed to persecute minority groups in this country because your religion says it's okay, that's not persecution either. I recommend you find a dictionary and look up the word persecution, and once you know what it actually is, we can have this conversation. Now, if you don't know what a dictionary is, I'd recommend finding a thesaurus and working your way forward.
I like the last part. By the way, let me take this moment again to say, fuck you, Gary Bettman. Jason, are you feeling persecuted by this hot take?
No. No.
I enjoy the liberal trucker.
Yeah.
He's the only one he's the only one on TikTok that I'm like, oh, you're doing your TikTok from inside your vehicle? I'm okay with that. Because you're at work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm not okay with though, and I saw this. Roger Lodge. You might know Roger Lodge. He hosted a dating show. I forget which dating show he hosted, but Roger Lodge. You remember him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blind Date, I think it was.
Yes. Yeah. So Roger Lodge works for the KLAA 8:30 a.m. in Southern California, which is also owned by Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels. And Artie decided that he put out a thing saying, if you're watching, I'm got my Angel City Connect stuff on, so Angels fan. Artie Moreno announced in August, he's owned the team for 20 years. He announced last August they were exploring the possibility of selling the team, and all the fans rejoiced because the first 10 years of Artie was great. The last 10 years have been kind of shitty. Oh, but he announced about a week or so ago that he's decided that he's not going to sell the team, despite the fact that there were multiple people waiting in line to offer him $2.5 billion
What?
for a property that he 20 years ago paid $183 million for. 2.5 billion with a B.
That's a come up.
He's rich. He's a rich dude. He did Trump fundraisers. He is the only Hispanic owner in baseball. We also had a story that came out about how shitty they treat the Spanish announcers. They don't actually travel with the team anymore, even after COVID. Like the Spanish radio announcer does the game from his laundry room. Not a joke. Not a joke. Fucker has to watch a monitor in his house and call the game. Not because of COVID, but because they don't want to pay for them to travel. This is a team that is owned by a Mexican-American owner in a market that is saturated with Spanish-speaking people. And he will not spend to have his Spanish language broadcast team travel. Wow. Are you wondering why I am not excited that he's decided to stay? That is why. Anyway, I just wanted to get into that. I got some sad news for you. There was a whole family in Pennsylvania. Now, they are apparently Trump supporters. They made a joint decision to kill themselves. That's according to police. Morgan Daub, who's 26, and her parents James Daub, 62, and Deborah Daub, who's 59, and will be forever, were found dead in the backyard of their home in York County, Pennsylvania, what police said was a suicide pact. They loved bowling, by the way. I don't know why that was important, and were devout Christian conservatives. That's what people who knew them said. They were found dead on the ground in the backyard of their home in York County, Pennsylvania on January 25th after police responded to a request for a welfare check from a neighbor. The West Manchester Township Police Department has since said that notes left inside the house indicate that the family recently made a joint decision to end their lives. Police believe Deborah Daub shot and killed her husband and then was shot and killed by Morgan, the daughter, who then committed suicide. Police said there were no signs of forced entry or struggle and no evidence that anyone else had been present, and the investigation has been closed. Now, people who knew the family expressed shock and heartbreak at the deaths. Morgan was described by members of the local bowling community as a shy, quiet young woman who was close with her mother and also a talented and avid bowler until she and her mother suddenly stopped visiting bowling alleys and stores in the area a few years ago. Morgan didn't have a lot of words to say, said Brent Stabley, who operates the pro shop at Bowler's Supply in York, Pennsylvania, where they were longtime customers. He also believed Morgan, whom he described as very meek and quiet, but also very bright, was homeschooled, and her mother often spoke on her behalf. Yikes. He said he gave Morgan many bowling lessons over the years, and she became more sociable as she grew older, and also quite a good bowler. He said the Christian church-going family was never shy about letting anybody know what their beliefs were when it came to religion and politics. Morgan and Deborah were very, very huge supporters of former President Donald Trump. They were also hell-bent on Trump winning. Like, this could be the end if he doesn't. That was according to the bowling alley guy, referring to an instance when he saw them just before the 2020 election. He said he stopped seeing the two after that. The neighbor, who asked to remain anonymous for fear of personal or professional retaliation in their town, said the family had a preoccupation with religion, especially on the dad's part. The family's front yard was also littered with pro-Trump political signs during the election and anti-abortion signs when Roe v. Wade was overturned. Terry Miller, the owner of Suburban Bowlerama, said Morgan and Deborah came to his bowling alley a couple of times a week, said she grew up here. To me, just watching their interactions, they just enjoyed it. They seemed to spend a lot of time together. Does anybody see any weird codependent relationship here?
Yes.
I mean, given the amount of sickness that my child has brought home from school, I understand homeschooling. The benefit of it in that you're not exposed to every germ in the history of mankind. Anyway, they all left notes saying how they planned to carry out the shootings and made other preparations, including what to do with the family dog and assets. The notes were dated January 24th, the day before the bodies were found. Police said the positioning of the bodies, the two guns found at the scene, the shell casings, and other evidence support the account put forward by the written documents left behind by the family that all three family members decided to end their lives. What the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? How? I don't get it. I mean, I would have been really fucking bummed if Joe Biden would have lost to Donald Trump in 2020. Like, really, really bummed. I would not have killed myself.
No.
I don't get that. I mean, it's a fucking cult.
Yeah.
This is cult behavior. This is cult behavior. This is what cultists do. They go, oh, my guy's not, I can't handle it. And this, think of all the lives that have been ruined since this fucker came down that golden escalator.
Yeah. And the fact that the Republicans won't take the time, the opportunity, or not even the opportunity, they just won't stand up and tell the truth about anything.
No. And behind closed doors, we've had them come out and say that behind closed doors, There'll be people who show up at a rally wearing a red MAGA hat, who show up the next day behind the scenes somewhere and say, I cannot wait until he dies.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's their strategy.
Well, it's not working.
Yeah, their strategy is that they hope that he dies.
Well, you better do something about it then.
And that no one will have to, they won't have to do anything. So they hope that either somebody prosecutes him or he dies. That's the strategy, because they don't want to have to do anything.
It is a horrible strategy.
They're a bunch of fucking cowards.
Yeah, that is the understatement of the day. A bunch of cowards. All right. So this gentleman, not a coward. He was at a rally, and he was interviewed by the Good Liars on TikTok. He's wearing a shirt that says Biden can suck my ass. And here's how the interaction went down. Some people do think that. I'm not aware if Joe Biden does in fact eat ass or suck ass, but
Be a lot cooler if he did.
well, if maybe he does with Dr. Jill Biden.
Yeah.
And who could blame him? Who could blame him? But not that guy. That guy, you weed out all the crazy liberal chicks. You read all the crazy chicks who don't come up to do a dude that says Biden has a shirt that says Biden can suck my ass. I'm sure that does limit the field pretty significantly.
Quite a bit.
Indeed. The Good Liars also found a couple with he was wearing a MAGA hat. She's not. And they talk to them, and this really, really drives home the thought process behind the MAGA movement. He doesn't know, but it's a terrible idea. And he's like, why? I don't know why. What is it? I don't know. I mean, let me help you. It's not being taught in any elementary school. It's just not. It's taught in law school. Critical race theory is taught in law school. What you're thinking of that people have brainwashed you into thinking is critical race theory is, Kareem, help me out. It starts with an H and ends with story. History. Fucking history. They're teaching history. What actually happened.
Yes.
It's not critical race theory. It's history. And happy Black History Month, Kareem.
Thank you.
Enjoy this month.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Black History Month is every month for me, goddammit.
Exactly. And Black history is history. It's history. I would have really liked I liked history class growing up. And knowing what I know now, I would have loved to actually have what is called Black history taught as part of history, as opposed to spending, I don't know, a week or two on the Civil War and going, well, slavery was bad and we had the Civil War and a lot of people died and the slaves were freed. Moving on. It was moving on. And then it was Dr. Martin Luther King. We went from the slaves were freed to Dr. Martin Luther King, and nothing, literally nothing was mentioned in between. Not in my high school classes, not in my college classes. Nothing. U.S. history, not a fucking thing about. I mean, I believe there was a quick mention of George Washington Carver and the fucking peanut butter.
And
I believe that was it.
That and there was a picture of Marcus Garvey that would always be in the book.
I have no idea who that is, Kareem. That was not in my history curriculum.
No,
I'm just telling you.
I
I'm just
believe
telling
you.
you. The only thing between the Civil War and Martin Luther King was Jackie Robinson. That
Yeah.
was it.
So I had the benefit of going to a school where most of my elementary school teachers were black. So and they taught during segregation. Some of them
They
did.
taught during the Civil War. They were really old teachers.
No,
Kareem had the-
some of them taught during segregation.
Right.
So they taught at what my school was what was the colored school. So when my parents went, or when my relatives, my parents' age went, they went to the colored schools, and I know this because I saw the pictures that say, I've seen the pictures that say colored school.
Again, if you grow up in Vermont, there's none of that because there's virtually no African American people in Vermont, even to this day.
Yes,
Not a lot.
not a lot.
Anyway, Jason, I have some sad news. There was a snub at the Grammys, and I know this is going to upset you because a lot of people are upset, and I'm sure you're one of them, including Melanie Martin, because her son was left off the in memoriam section. That's right. Aaron Carter did not get a mention during the Grammys' always anticipated in memoriam segment. That sent his fans into a rage. The emotional tribute to artists and composers and music executives featured performances from Sheryl Crow, Casey Musgraves, and Quavo, who played his song dedicated to Takeoff, had the entire audience silent. The stars that were honored: Loretta Lynn, David Crosby, Christine McVie from Fleetwood Mac, Robbie Rydell, Naomi Judd, Lisa Marie Presley, and Olivia Newton-John. But no Aaron Carter. Jason?
Well, he's not really an artist, is he? Just kidding.
So cold. So cold. Jason doesn't need Jason doesn't need any AC because he's cold enough.
Yeah, I mean, even somebody like that would make that type of joke like me. It's still kind of shit. Like he still had a song that was on the radio a lot.
But he was never nominated for a Grammy. It's not like he was part of the Grammy community.
Right. I guess he was the furthest thing that would be accepted as a Grammy nominee. So yeah.
I mean that's the only thing. But I mean they didn't have to salute his music to mention that he passed. Because as TMZ mentioned, he certainly left his mark on pop music. His Aaron's Party, Come Get It, was number 35 on the Billboard Top 100 chart. And That's How I Beat Shaq hit number 98. If that is your argument, that his biggest hit topped out at 35 and his other hit was number 98, I don't know that that's a great argument.
But that one song, that song, Aaron's House, like that, that song, when I was a DJ, that song, that was on. I don't know how I survived. I don't know how we had to play it all the time. It was just on all the time. And that's when you had to program the station owner would program that song in too. I should have just been upset with that guy, fucking Gary Daniel, fucking fucker.
Yeah, I mean, it really is his problem to go ahead and do that because I mean he's the one that went ahead and subjected you to it.
But I was I could have just gone in and deleted them all, and nobody would have known. They'll never know.
He would have known. He was listening for Aaron Carter. He was listening to that song.
No, he was listening. When I played Most Def, he was listening, and I got told that not to deviate from the music that I was given.
Yeah. So I have my own Grammy.
Okay.
So Robert Glasper won best R&B album, and Chris Brown and his fans were upset. causing Chris Brown to say, "Who the fuck is Robert Glasper?" And Robert Glasper has worked on multiple R&B albums, including the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I
And
mean,
he,
I didn't know him by name, but again, I'm not in the scene.
yes, and he's produced 3 albums called three volumes of Black Radio that have included a multitude of artists. So, and he actually did make the joke last week. Who the fuck is Robert Glasper? So I'm hoping I'm going to give Chris Brown a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that he was making that joke. But if not, if you don't know Robert Glasper, and as somebody on Twitter said, the fact that you don't know Robert Glasper might explain why all of your records sound the same.
He's apologized. He apologized like this. Congratulations, my brother. I would like to apologize if you took offense to my reaction at the Grammys. You were not the intended target, and I know I came off really rude and mean. After doing my research, I actually think you're amazing. He used the wrong form of viewer, of course. The organization isn't doing us blacks our due diligence. You and I should never be in the same category. He had finished off his apology by adding 2 totally different vibes and genres. So from one black man to another, congratulations. I hope you're able to feed your family for life. God bless my G.
Oh, my G.
It's R&B. It's the same.
If your apology starts out with, I'd like to apologize if you took offense, not an apology.
Yes.
That is not an apology. I'm sorry if you were offended. It's not an apology.
People were making fun of him all night last night.
I will say this: if you have any experience with women, you would know that. Oh, yeah, Chris Brown and women probably not a good thing to bring up. Sorry, let's move on.
Thanks.
I apologize. I brought up a very sore subject, and that was not okay. And hold on.
That was awkward. Let's take a pause.
Okay. I would like to say this to Chris Brown.
You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy.
You're not. I was lying about that. Hey, let's go to Florida. A Florida woman battered a convenience store clerk with a pair of Slim Jims after being accused of shoplifting. Cops allege that Casey Brazil, who's 40, was confronted by a female victim at the exit doors to the store, which is adjacent to a Citgo gas station. She pushed the victim to get past and then struck the 34-year-old clerk with 2 Slim Jim beef sticks that she was stealing. The clerk was not injured in the Slim Jim attack, and police did not seize the beef sticks as evidence. She reportedly admitted to the battery, and after being read her rights, charged with battery theft and resisting a merchant. She's being held in the county jail in lieu of $2,650 bond. She's alternatively described as transient and a St. Petersburg resident in court records, and has a lengthy rap sheet that includes several state prison stays and convictions for cocaine possession, burglary, trafficking in stolen property, and theft. By the way, something I know that as a small business owner, you don't want to lose anything to theft if you can help it. But do you really want to risk a physical confrontation over 2 Slim Jims?
No.
Because I know they're expensive,
No.
but they're more expensive to the customer than they are really to the merchant.
Well, I mean, if anything, you should wait until you should buy it, and then you snap into it. You know what I mean? And then
Snap into a Slim Jim, brother.
and then Randy the Macho Man Savage Zombie will show up and snap the guy in half. Like just wait.
Also, a hearty rest in peace to the Macho Man's brother, Lanny Poffo, who passed away this week. We lost Lanny Poffo this week. If you weren't aware, Kareem, you remember Lanny? You remember Lanny Poffo, Leaping Lanny Poffo, the poet laureate of the WWF.
Yeah. Have you watched any of the stories from the territories?
No, I have not.
Yeah, you should watch those. Those are good.
Anyway, yeah, Slim Jim, not worth a physical confrontation. Meanwhile, speaking of physical confrontations, in Minnesota, a Minnesota woman was jailed for domestic assault after allegedly clobbering her boyfriend in the head with a whole chicken.
Damn.
According to cops who reported that the victim still had some chicken residue in his hair. The victim told cops he was driving home to the Eagle Lake residence he shares with Natalie Brumer, who's 36, when he was attacked. The man who had been at a bar with Brumer said she was hitting him and spitting in his face as they were en route home. Upon arriving at their residence, the man alleged that Brumer hit him with a whole chicken in the back of his head. The victim still had some chicken residue in his hair, police noted. When the cops sought to place her under arrest, she struggled with them and began pulling her hands away from officers, requiring multiple attempts to get her handcuffed. While being escorted from the home, she reportedly continued to yell, attempted to pull her arms away from officers, and kicked her legs around. Yes, she's a white lady. Charged with domestic assault and obstructing police, both misdemeanors. She was booked into the Blue Earth County Jail. Doesn't that sound nice? She was arrested, by the way, in December 2021 for assaulting the same man identified as the victim in yesterday's incident. They've been together as a couple for more than 10 years. That 2021 misdemeanor case is still pending. Court records do not indicate whether the chicken allegedly wielded by Brumer was cooked or raw, or whether the victim was actually injured in the poultry strike. Jason, has your lovely lady ever attempted to foul you with foul?
Not yet.
Would she throw a chicken at you? Is that a possibility?
I mean,
is your wife someone who would throw things at you?
No. I've seen her get really, really like physically like want to punch somebody in the face, upset maybe twice.
Sure.
And it was during soccer, like with chicks that she wanted to beat their ass.
You're in a competitive situation. That's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
Kareem, would your lady ever throw anything at you?
That's a possibility. A chicken, I don't think so.
I will say this. If you are with a lady who will throw things at your head, get away. Get away. I will regale you quickly with a story of when I lived in Plattsburgh, New York, in a second floor apartment, second floor of a house. Our bedroom was above the kitchen of the apartment below. And the couple down below fought pretty regularly. And I don't remember his name, but I remember her name was Stacy. And here's how I remember it. They were having a particular argument, and every now and then you would hear glass break. See, Stacy liked to throw things. And here's what I heard at 2:00 in the morning. And this was a few days after the gentleman moved out and the relationship was over. Something was smashed, and this is what I heard him say, and I quote, "Get away from me, Stacy. I'm not going to jail for you tonight." If those words ever even remotely think about coming out of your mouth, now you can substitute the name of your significant other for Stacy. That's fine. It might be time to look into another relationship.
Definitely.
If them being in your vicinity would necessitate a trip to jail, I could live to be I could live to be 500 years old, and I will never forget. Get away from me, Stacy. I'm not going to jail for you tonight. Oh, yeah, good times. Meanwhile, this is going to sound like a Florida Corner story. It's not at all, and has nothing to do with Stacy. This comes to us from Des Moines, Iowa, where a 21-year-old man is accused of running naked through a hotel in Des Moines, wielding a toilet plunger and pulling fire alarms.
The fuck was he on?
Well, Trevin Wayne Hill, white guy. By the way, not of Florida. He's from Las Vegas. He was arrested and charged with assault while displaying a dangerous weapon. First degree criminal mischief and disorderly conduct. That's according to Polk County online booking records. I wonder if that's where Polk Salad Annie is from. Anyway, according to the Des Moines Police Department, Hill approached a victim on the 18th floor stairwell at the Des Moines Marriott downtown with a toilet plunger. I'm sorry. According to court documents, the naked man yelled, "I'm going to expletive get you," as he chased the victim. Police said that multiple people saw Hill allegedly pull fire alarms around the hotel. The man continued running on several floors, swinging the plunger until he was subdued by police officers. He was booked into Polk County Jail and posted bail on January 29th, and he has pleaded not guilty to the charges and will appear at a later date in court. So, get away from me, Stacy. I'm not going to jail for you tonight.
I mean, that's a smart answer.
Yeah.
Toilet plunger, January, Des Moines. Go. What brings a man from Las Vegas to Des Moines, Iowa, to swing a toilet plunger at people at a hotel at a Marriott?
I want to know what he was on.
We could. If for Florida, it would be bath salts. We know that.
Yes.
All right. So the Powerball, we're going to wrap it up with this. The Powerball jackpot tonight, $747 million. I think the drawing has already happened, so I could be rich. Have either of you purchased tickets?
I forgot it. I was going to.
Jason, if you are the winner, what do you do? What is the first big thing that you do with your family?
First of all, I'm not telling any motherfucker about it.
Here's the problem. In California, you have to show up and claim it in person with cameras rolling.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's not like other states where you can show up in a luchador mask and say my name is Mr. X. No. Your name, your likeness. It's part. Read the back of the ticket. Yeah, you cannot claim it anonymously. Not in California.
Buy some property and higher
elevation,
higher latitudes. Yeah, no. I mean, I would say Montana, but I don't know, man. There might be plans going on there.
I would not go to Montana. Yeah, it's a tough one. We were talking about that. Like, what did you do? Where would your home base be? How would you go about doing whatever? And it's like, yeah, obviously the first thing you do is you meet with a lawyer and an accountant and figure out where the money's going so that you have it, but you're not going to get bled dry by your leechy relatives and friends.
First thing I do is buy a huge house up in Lake Tahoe on the Nevada side, keep my house here, and then call the house up there my residence. That's what I would do. And then I wouldn't have to pay any taxes because fuck everyone else.
I like how you think that would actually work. The first thing I would do is block Brian Krall's number because I don't care if the Sacramento Comedy Spot is a not-for-profit. No, I'm just kidding. We're a not-for-profit. I do.
No, you know what I do? I'd donate $1 million and say, you got to name the theater after me.
Yes, the Jason Casey's enormous balls.
Do you guys want that? Do you want that endowment? I can give you guys that endowment. Like, I'm gonna put $5 million away for you. You guys can use the interest every year for that, and then I'll buy you a brand new theater top of it. But it's gonna be called "Suck Jason's Nuts," Brian Krall. LOL.
And there needs to be a caricature of that happening on the wall when you first walk in.
No, no, I'm just kidding. There's no reason that he should suck my balls. He was always nice to me.
Yeah, but still, for $5 million, I'm sure he would.
What would you do, Brian?
$5 million endowment and lift tickets for the next 5 years.
And I'm not tub thumping. Listening to tub thumping for 24 hours is not gonna. It's not gonna do it for this 5 million. And you might be
No.
thumping something, but it won't be a tub.
It would be really hard for me not to want to live in Laguna Beach. Because, god damn, one of those towns down there like that on the ocean with the views when you've got enough money to do it. I mean, fuck.
Man, so you're thinking 5-10 years. You're thinking like right now. You need to be thinking like 30 years from now. Where do you need to live? The higher elevation, the higher, like, what area do you need to be living in? That's going to be the future beachfront property. Look at the maps. Look at the maps.
Look,
Makes-
if you win, $747 million or take the cash payout for $430 million, you can afford to buy both.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
True that.
saying. You can afford to buy both and go ahead and do that. Put some aside and maybe decide in 10 years what the best place to go to would be, because what looks good now might not look good then. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Wherever you go, make sure that there's a water source,
Yeah.
and it's not dependent on the water source for the city that's next to you, because they might cut your water off.
No, I'm rich. They're not going to cut my water off, Kareem. Come on. You know that. I'm rich. I can afford bottled water. Come on.
Just saying.
Yeah, he has like. I would just have a guy that opens Nestle bottles, like, and just fill my huge tank up. Just like I'd have like 5 or 6 guys. That's all they're doing.
Here's what I would do. I'd buy a bunch of empty Nestle bottles and have people fill it in the backyard with a hose, because that's just what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, cut out the middleman. That's how I made my money. All I'm saying is I would want to live. It would be hard for me not to want to live someplace with an ocean view. It was a half-hour drive from where my baseball team plays. That would be very hard for me not to do that.
Yeah.
But, got kids.
Yeah.
And then the nanny is going to be more expensive there. So if we go to Reading, the nanny's going to be cheaper. That's all I know.
And think of what you can get with $500 million in Reading.
We bought the whole city.
So yeah, you're the council. Your family's the council now for this city.
Yes.
I mean, that's how it works. That's
No,
yeah,
no. I read an article about that shit. It's crazy up there.
yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of the WTH podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live or listening later. We do appreciate you. You can reach out to us on social media. You can hit me on Twitter. It's at Nate Darling. And you can find us wherever you find us, and say hello. All right. Until next time, be good and watch out for them Chinese balloons.